Hello everyone. Happy Monday afternoon, evening. Welcome to the webinar series for introverts. This is the very first episode. So I'm going to give you guys just a minute or two to hop on. I know I'm running a minute or two late, so I apologize for that. As you come on in, just let me know that you're here. Say hi. And we'll get started in just a minute. Alright guys, I am super excited for this webinar. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for showing up today. Whether you're here live or you're watching the replay, we're going to have so much fun. Alright. Just do me a favor as you pop in here, just let me know that you can hear me okay. I'm going to do a quick sound check on my end. Just to make sure. Let's see. Let's just double check. Hello, hello. Okay, it looks like my sound is good to go. So if you can just let me know, pop a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me okay. And we are going to get started with today's webinar. I'm so excited. Okay. All right, you guys. Hello. Welcome to the webinar series for Introverts and Co. I am your host, Stephanie Laffey, aka the coach for introverts, but you can call me Steph. And we will get to the introductions and formalities and all of that fun stuff in just a minute here. Okay? So before we get started, I need to ask you guys a really important question. All right? Well, actually, I need to ask you a couple of important questions. All right? So, I want to encourage you today to share your answers in the chat. This is something I'm going to encourage for you to do throughout the entire experience, whether you're here live or if you're catching the replay. Hey girls, so happy to have you here. Hey Mika, hey Tasha, so excited that you guys are here. All right. So before we get started, I have got a really important question for you. Like I said, I want to encourage you to share your answers in the chat. This is something that I'm going to encourage you to do all day, whether you're here live or you're catching the replay. If you are catching the replay, simply write hashtag replay before each comment, but I want to invite you to interact as if you are here live, okay? Amazing. So, like I said, I have three very important questions for you before we get started. Question number 1. How are you guys feeling today? But really, how are you feeling today? Let me know in the chat. And just be real. It can be a word, it can be emoji, whatever you want to share with me, okay? And then while you answer that, the next question that I have is, what do you have on your mind right now other than this webinar, which you're currently watching? Be honest, just get it out. I want you guys to use the chat box to air that shit out, okay? In this community and in all of my containers, there is no shame, no judgment in expressing how we really feel. and we are truly all here to support you. All right? There's also no shame in the fact that you've got a million things going on in your mind, right? That's why you're here. That's why you're participating in this webinar. But I wanted to start today by getting all that extra crap out of your head from the get-go so that we can actually make the most of our time together today. So, what's on your mind other than this webinar that you're currently taking part in? And how are you guys feeling today? But actually, I'll give you a minute to answer that. And then I've got one last question before we jump on in. All right. All right, and then as last question is, are you taking care of yourself? Again, I'm gonna ask you to be honest. Are you really taking care of yourself, or do you feel like your life is currently on autopilot? Do you feel like you're just kind of going through the motions and checking off the boxes, or are you truly taking care of what you need? This is all going to make sense why I'm asking these questions in just a little bit, okay? But right now, I just want you to be honest with yourself. Let me know how you're doing today. Let me know what else you have on your mind. And let me know if you are actually taking care of yourself. A couple months ago, these questions would have been really hard for me to answer honestly, because I would have had a hard time answering them. But now, I can tell you that I'm genuinely feeling really good. I've got nothing on my mind but what we're doing right now. And yes, I am taking care of myself, and I am going to help you guys. Instead of having to struggle for a couple months or years like I did, I'm going to help you guys get there today. Okay? So, once you've answered those questions for yourself, whether you're in the chat or in somewhere separate outside of here, I want to know who is excited about knowing that in just 1 hour, you are going to have all the tools that you need to truly feel present and clear-headed instead of distracted and all over the place. Okay? Drop a butterfly emoji in the chat so I know that you're with me. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So before we begin, I want to tell you guys why I am so passionate about helping you go from being on autopilot to operating from a peaceful, clear state of mind. And I also want to quickly introduce myself. All right? I want you guys to know, this is why I'm passionate, I want you guys to know that there is another way to deal with your overwhelming thoughts and feelings without escaping into them, without escaping from them. All right? I want you to know that actually facing your thoughts and feelings head on and learning to manage them effectively will help you deal with life and will help you make decisions without the lingering feelings of anxiety, without relying on harmful coping mechanisms to get you through the day, etc. And I know this because I have been where you are. But because of the work that I've done, because of the work that I've done, I'm able to share all of what I'm going to share with you today, okay? I've learned to love feeling my feelings. I've learned to think deeply without getting lost in thought. I've learned to sleep at night. I'm present. I can make sound decisions without getting distracted by all the white noise in my brain. Alright? I'm in great shape. I'm on a new career path that I'm excited about. And I know for the first time, truly, that my business is about to take off. And all of that is made possible because I've done this work that I'm about to share with you today. Alright? I am so excited to help you guys really, truly just deal with your overwhelming thoughts and feelings and operate from a default of clear-headedness. Alright? So, all of this is possible for you. I want all of this for you. And if you're ready to claim this deep peace of mind, then you are in the right place today. Okay? So you're probably wondering, who am I? Well, as I said earlier, I'm Stephanie Laffey, but most people call me Steph. As you probably know by now, I am the confidence and communication coach for introverts. And my story in a nutshell is that I love being an introvert, but I was not always this way. For a long time, my habit of overthinking everything caused me to doubt myself and avoid seeking new opportunities and relationships. So I had to learn to transform my tendency to overthink and feel deeply into a strength, right? And in order to do that, in order to truly embrace the fact that I'm an introvert, in order to truly be able to show up here from a place of clear-headedness, I had to start with the racing thoughts that were constantly running through my mind. I had to start with the racing thoughts so that I could clearly and easily execute my best ideas, make good decisions, and lead myself down the path of success in every area of my life. That's why in today's webinar, we're starting with shutting down your racing thoughts for good so that you can truly operate from a clear head. Okay? So before we get into the nitty-gritty, before we actually talk about how we're going to get rid of those racing thoughts, I want to quickly talk about some housekeeping, all right? So first and foremost, at the end of this webinar, I'm going to be announcing a really special new offer for you guys at the end. Alright, I'm going to be announcing the offer at the end of this month, alright? It's not quite ready yet, but at the end of today, I am going to share what I know so far, if that's okay with you. What I will tell you for now is that this offer that I've put together, that I've started to brainstorm, is different than anything I've ever created, and as far as I can see, it's different than anything you've seen in the coaching industry, particularly when it comes to introverts. And I'll also be extending the 1% Better Everyday sale for 48 hours, so don't go anywhere, because that sale is only for you guys. Alright, second, today's webinar, like all my webinars going forward, I want it to be interactive. So like I said earlier, share what's coming through for you in the chat. We want the information to stick in your brain, okay? And learning really does happen best in a community setting. So whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, share it in the chat. If you're watching the replay, #replay, share it in the chat. Alright? Share what's coming through for you. Third, a very short PDF with the main takeaways will be available for you guys later to download. But that said, I do encourage you to take notes about anything that you might want to come back to so that you remember and you can revisit. Final housekeeping thing. This webinar is probably only available for a short period. Eventually, I will take it down. I'll put it behind one of my paywalls. So don't sleep on it. Take action. Do the thing. Take the notes. Pay attention. Be present with me. Because eventually, I'm going to take this down. All right. Let's get into it. Are you ready to get clear-headed AF? Drop me a fire emoji thing in the chat if you are ready to get clear-headed AF. All right. Amazing. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how clear-headed are you right now? I'm gonna say I'm operating at like an 8 today. That's my typical. But I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's be real, how clear-headed are you right now? The next thing I want you to write down and let me know is, do you experience racing thoughts? And by the way, if I'm going too fast, I want to make sure that we get everything in today. So just hit that pause button and make sure that you answer these questions, okay? Do you experience racing thoughts? My next question for you is, how do racing thoughts impact your life? What would your life look like if you never experienced these racing thoughts ever again anymore? Like, if you could operate at a minimum default of an 8 in terms of clear-headedness, what would your life look like? Like, how would things improve? How would things be better? I know for me, like, I no longer freak out when things don't go according to plan. I no longer operate from a place of stress, and I no longer have a meltdown when shit hits the fan. I'm just calm. I'm cool as a cucumber. Why can't I talk? I operate from a position of cool as a cucumber, even when shit hits the fan, and that is not something that used to happen. So what would your life look like if you never experienced racing thoughts, and if you could operate from a minimum of an 8 in terms of clear-headedness? And lastly, why are you telling yourself that that's not possible for you? What stories do you have about why clear-headedness just isn't in your DNA? Because I had so many stories. I genuinely thought that everybody operated the way I was operating. I thought everybody was at like a freaking 10 in terms of stress level and overwhelm. Like, I thought everyone went through life and was just always stressed out and living in a fog. And then I cleared my own head and I realized, like, that is just not the vibe. So what stories do you have? Give me a second. I gotta have a sip of water. All right, all these questions that I'm asking you right now will be available in the PDF. So don't worry about like trying to jot them down. I got you. All right, guys. So now that we've gotten honest with ourselves here about what's going on, let's talk about how we're going to fix it. I'm going to walk you guys through like a couple of strategies right now. I'll include additional ones in the PDF guide later. But we're going to just go through them right now. This is going to help you get super clear-headed. And I'm so excited for you. Alright? We always want to figure out what's going on and like why we're feeling that way before we tackle how we're going to deal with it. That's one of my core things that we do in all of my coaching containers. Alright. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about today is I want you to list 5 to 10 things that you would love to do if you had all the time in the world. Okay? 5 to 10 things. And they could be simple. Okay? So maybe it's putting your makeup on every day. Maybe it's sipping your hot coffee in the morning while it's actually still warm. Maybe it's sitting and playing a word game every morning. Maybe it's, I don't know, I have a ritual of taking a shower and washing my hair before I hop onto camera. I don't know, it's a thing. It's something I need to do to feel refreshed and ready to go. So I want you to make a list of 5 to 10 things that you would love to do if you had all the time in the world. If life was just super relaxed and laid back and you didn't have anything to worry about. And then I want you to go through that list. Again, this will all be in the PDF. I want you to go through that list and ask yourself, how does this action make me feel? Right? So we want to understand like what feeling are you craving? Okay? That these actions will bring forth. So for like using the example of putting your makeup on every day. That would make you feel like not a hot mess. It would make you feel just beautiful and as beautiful as you are on the inside, on the outside, right? And then I want to know, how can you find a way to emulate this feeling every single day? So, using the example of the makeup, maybe you can only find 10 minutes in your day, right? So if you're craving the feeling of feeling beautiful every single day, if that's what would make you feel good, what is a 10-minute routine that you can do every single day that would truly make you feel beautiful every single day? All right? Find something that you can spend 10 minutes doing every single day to start your day to make you feel beautiful. Maybe using the example of you want to be able to drink your hot coffee every morning, right? And while it's actually warm. What would that activity make you feel? Right? For me, it would just make me feel at peace and rested and uninterrupted while I wake up my brain. So if that's not a doable thing for you, if it's not possible for you to sit and enjoy your morning coffee while it's still warm, then what can you do to feel at peace and rested and uninterrupted while you wake your brain up? What can you spend 10 minutes doing that's for you to create that feeling first thing? The reason I'm saying this is you cannot operate from an empty, or you can't pour from an empty cup. So by doing this, by recognizing like, what would you do if you had all the time and leisure and energy in the world to just do anything? And recognizing what feeling would be elicited by doing that thing, we can kind of reverse engineer to make sure that we're creating that feeling for ourselves every day. All right? If you set yourself up to make this a non-negotiable priority to do something that feels really good for you every single day, you're setting yourself up to ensure that at a minimum, you're never running on empty, right? If every single day you never do anything that makes you feel good and you're only just constantly giving, you're going to burn out. You're going to run out of steam, right? So set yourself up with a 5, 10, 15-minute routine every single day that you feel really good about, that brings forth a feeling that would bring peace and happiness and contentment into your life so that you are never, ever running on empty. So for me, this looks like For me, this looks like starting my morning every day, 7 days a week, before I talk to my husband, before I look at my phone. Well, I have to look at my phone for part of this, but before I answer any DMs, before I even get ready to go to work or go to the gym, before I do anything, this is a non-negotiable. I don't care if I overslept. I start my morning with a couple things. I eat an orange. This is so random. I eat an orange. I drink my coffee hot. I watch as the sun rises. And I play Wordle. I'm a nerd, I know. That is my me time. It is non-negotiable. Even my dog, Meatball, is aware of this routine. It is do not interrupt. That is step time. And I can't start my day. I can start my day without it if I have to adjust or arrange. But I need my 10 to 15 minutes to wake up my brain in peace. That way I can start my day from a place of feeling really relaxed and not stressed out and in peace. Right? And the way that I discovered that routine was I asked myself the question I asked you earlier. If you had all the time in the world, what would you do? So my answer to that question was I would sleep late and I would take my time getting out of bed and I would never, ever feel rushed to start my day and I would do everything on my own time. Well, when you work a 9 to 5, you run a business, you're in the gym, and you have a family to attend to, I don't have all the time in the world. I can't do that. So I created a simple routine that would bring me peace and a feeling of not feeling rushed from the get-go, right? I created my 10 to 15-minute morning routine right when I wake up, so that I can create that sense of peace to start my day with. Let me know if that makes sense. And I would love to hear what's coming through for you before we switch gears. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to move into the next strategy that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Okay. So, the next thing that I'm going to share, and again, all of these things, just the structure of each of these strategies and the questions that you're going to ask yourself, all these things will be in the PDF guide. So you can always share them later. Okay? Okay. The next thing that I'm going to share with you is if you are somebody who struggles to get things done, you're going to want to pay attention to these next two things, okay? The first thing I'm going to tell you is if you're struggling to get everything on your list done, one of two things is probably going on. Alright? One of two things is probably going on here. Oh, wait. Ooh, I love that, Mika. So before we get into that, I just want to share what Mika said. I also have non-negotiable routines, and it's so important for self-care, well-being, and structured way to ensure a healthy day. It lasts the whole day too. Yes. When you start your day with a non-negotiable self-care routine, even if it's just 10 minutes, it sets the tone for the entire day, and you can just operate from such a clear head. So I love that you're doing that, Mika. I would love for you to tell us, if you feel called to, what does that non-negotiable routine look like? I would love for everyone to see that it gets to be really simple, all right? It doesn't have to be this whole to-do. It gets to be really simple. So thank you for sharing that. All right, Mika, I'm going to let you share what's coming up for you, and we're going to move into the second thing. So like I said, if you guys are struggling to get everything on your to-do list done, one of two things is going on. You're either taking on far too many priorities for yourself, or you're distracting yourself with shit that isn't a priority. Okay? That's the honest to God truth. Sorry, a little bit of tough love here. You're either taking on too many priorities, or you're distracting yourself with things that aren't actually a priority. Right? So, the questions that I need you to ask yourself, if you're finding that your to-do list is a mile long, what can I delegate? What is not a priority? Like, what is not a priority? Go through your list, and I want you to ask yourself, what is on here that is actually not a priority? Maybe it needs to get done at a point. Maybe eventually it needs your attention and your energy. But what is not a priority? And then lastly, what on my list is just a distraction that does not belong on my list at all? I guarantee you there are some things on your list that you are telling yourself you have to do that does not belong on your list at all. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. One of the things that I was doing that was a waste of time, that was not a priority, was a distraction, was I was telling myself that I had to post on social media every single day. No, I don't. Right? That was a distraction. So that's one thing that is no longer on my list. I post when I have something to say. That is it. Sometimes I have a lot to say. So sometimes I post 2 to 3 times a week. But I no longer just post just to remind everyone that I exist. You guys know I exist. What is not a priority that can wait? So for me, just using the social media example, I used to answer DMs every time they came in. Now I answer DMs twice a day. That's it. And sometimes once a day. And then the question of what can you delegate. So I am the delegation queen. That's something that we go over in all of my paid containers. But just asking, like, is there somebody else that can help me do this? Is there somebody that can do this better? Is there somebody that this is actually their responsibility and I'm just doing it for them? So getting really clear on like what's not actually for you. Like what's on your list that's not really for you to do. Okay? Or is there somebody in my life that can help? Right? So the next thing, and I'm going to kind of move quickly now, but again, you guys will get all of this in the PDF that's going to come later. If you guys are struggling to get things done, I also want to encourage you to keep your list short and simple. Short and simple. So before you start your day, look at your list. Just take a look at it. Start your day like after you do your non-negotiable routine, of course. Take a look at your list. If anything new has come up that really is actually a priority, what on your list can you take off? What can you bump to tomorrow or the next day, right? What can be moved around? So just because something new comes up doesn't mean you now have to fill your list with everything that you plan to do plus all the new things that came up. Keep it short and simple. So if you're adding new things to your list, what can come off? Right? And again, constantly asking, is this new thing that's coming up actually a priority, or is my squirrel brain just telling me that this is something new and I need to do it right away? And then just off of that, like stop putting so much stuff on your list. This is something I struggled with big time, I'm going to be honest. And this is why my brain was so crowded with thoughts. Because my list was so long and it would stress me out. And so I would try to like multitask and do too many things. And it was exhausting. So stop making your list so long. The other thing you can do is, if you have a lot of big things on your list that are stressing you out, break them down, alright? Break them down. Break them into like micro tasks so that things don't feel so overwhelming, right? So for, using like an example of this is, for a long time, I kept blowing off doing my taxes. I didn't want to do them. I just really didn't feel like it. So I kept putting it on my list every single day and then rolling it to the next day and not doing anything. So what finally helped was I took that and I said, okay, instead of just saying do taxes, which to me is like this mountain that I don't want to climb, I said, okay, one day I'm going to just focus on the expenses, on my expenses. That's it. And then I actually found that that was too much. So I broke the expenses down even further and I split it into like, first I'm going to tackle travel expenses. And then the next day I'm going to tackle any subscriptions that I have or any coaching programs that I invested in 2022. So see how I just took that big, scary thing, that big mountain, and I broke it into little hills. Right? And then I actually got it done. I actually got taxes done early this year, which is so awesome. I'm done. They're submitted. Usually I'm running up right to the deadline, but this year I got them done early because I recognized what I needed. I realized that I was taking on too big of a task at once, and I just broke it down into little baby steps. Okay? Let me know if that's helpful. Alright, I'm going to go through a couple more strategies, and the rest of, I'm going to add a couple of strategies in the PDF that's going to come with this webinar. Okay? The next thing I want to encourage you guys to do is stop saying yes to everything. Literally, you don't owe anyone a yes, right? It's okay to say no. okay to say no. In fact, you should say no, because when you say no to other people, you're saying yes to yourself. Right? When you say no to other people, you're allowing your brain to, like, take a break. Like, just because you have time and energy to spare doesn't mean that you immediately have to give it all away to other people. Your brain needs time to recharge and reset and take a pause and just spend time with yourself. So just because somebody asks you a question or asks you for a favor doesn't mean that you have to do it, right? You can say no. Just because something comes up doesn't mean you have to say, yes, I'll do it for you right away, or yes, I'll take care of that right away. You can say, like, no, I don't have time, or no, I can't right now, or it's gonna have to wait, right? Start saying no to other people so that you aren't bogged down with all their thoughts and their problems. Right? Next thing is, I want you guys to stop trying to wear all the hats at once. The second to last one, okay? Stop trying to wear all the hats at once. One thing at a time. Stop freaking multitasking. I used to multitask all day, every day. I would, like, try to work on my business and work on work stuff and watch TV or listen to a podcast. Do a million things all at the same time. And the problem was that because my attention was divided, I was only giving like 30% to each thing. Or 20%, right? And then I would end up at the end of whatever it was, whatever 500 things I was doing, I was stressed out because my brain was trying to think about 500 fragmented things all at the same time. I wasn't giving my best effort. I wasn't delivering my best. And then I was just annoyed at myself after. So it really was just counterproductive, right? We like to tell ourselves when we multitask that, you know, we're checking off a bunch of things at once. We're killing two birds with one stone. You're actually not doing anything. You're just moving yourself backwards. One thing at a time. You can obviously focus on a bunch of different goals, like in general, all at once. Like, you know, I'm working on my fitness right now. I'm building my business. I've got my career is expanding. Got a lot of stuff going on personally. I've got all that stuff going on, but in the moment, in each moment, every single day, I'm focusing on one thing at a time. That allows me to give 110% when I'm at the gym, 110% when I'm at work, 110% when I'm in my business, sharing, you know, webinars like this. Right? So, that's really going to help you to keep a clear head. Finally, the last thing I want to share with you is I want you guys to practice visualization. It is one of my favorite tools. What does your life look like in 1 month, 3 months, 1 year from now, if you were operating from a really clear, really empowered headspace of, like, the best version of yourself? Or in other words, if there was no obstacles, if there was nothing standing in your way of being the best version of yourself and just operating at your full 110% you, what does your life look like in 1 month, 3 years, or 1 year, 3 months? I just went out of order, my bad. What does your life look like if there's nothing standing in your way? And then I want you to ask yourself, I want you to get really honest with yourself. this action that I'm about to take, whatever I'm about to do right now, whatever thing I'm looking at on my priority list, and this is how you're going to get shit off of that priority list, and I'm saying it in quotes because a lot of things on your priority list probably don't belong there. Does this action that I'm about to take align with that vision? Does it actually move me closer to that vision, to that highest version of myself? If not, is it possible that this thing that I'm about to do is actually a distraction? Is it possible that this thing that I'm about to do is not a priority? It's a waste of my time. It's an obstacle. Get real with yourself. I have chopped my priority list by 75% by asking that question. I'm not kidding. There's still days when I'm not perfect. I'm a human being. I've come a long way, but I've still got a ways to go. There are days when I give in to distractions and when I do things that definitely aren't moving me towards the ultimate vision. But like I said, I've cut my priority list by 75%. I always ask myself, does the version of me that I want to be, that I want to embody in 1 month, 3 months, a year from now, waste her time doing this shit? Or is this actually a priority? Does this move the needle forward? Guarantee you that's going to help you get a lot of stuff off your list. Okay. How's everyone feeling? What I want to remind you guys, because I know I just shared a lot of stuff, you already know what you need to do. Alright? I shared a bunch of strategies with you guys. You guys get to take what works and throw away what doesn't. You guys get to choose what strategies work for you and what doesn't. But I want to remind you that you already know what you need to do. You already know what's going to work, what's going to help guide you to becoming more clear-headed, and which strategies really feel aligned with what you need. You already know exactly what you need to do. You already know the answer. You just needed someone to ask you the right set of questions and present the right set of strategies to figure out what's going to work for you. Okay? So just remember that. You already know what you need to do. That said, I am curious which of these strategies you're excited to try out, which ones you're excited to practice. Let me know. And keep in mind that in the PDF that I'm going to share, I'm going to include a couple of other strategies that I didn't get a chance to talk about today, just for your benefit. But I'm so excited for you guys to try these all out. Alright? Now, just because I want to be respectful of everyone's time, as I said, this webinar will be available for a limited time only. Eventually, it will be taken down and it'll go behind the paywall. I have not decided when I'm going to pull it down. It might be next week, it might be in 2 weeks, it might be in a month. But I would say watch the replay because it definitely will not be here in April. That's what I can tell you for now. And be sure to tell your friends too. Be sure to tell them to join the group and watch this webinar. Be sure to record your points for attending for the challenge for introverts, so you can be eligible for some awesome prizes. And of course, be sure to tag me in your stories and celebrate how clear-headed you feel right now. And I'll celebrate you. I'm so excited. All right. All that said, like I said earlier, I've got some offers to talk with you about, all right? So first and foremost, I am working on something behind the scenes that I am bursting with excitement to tell you guys about. But you guys just have to wait a little bit longer to hear all the details, all right? So if you're excited about that offer, which I am just so excited about, you'll have to let me know if you want to be the first to hear about it once it's ready. So you can just shoot me a DM, let me know that you want to be put on the wait list once that is available. But I will give you a little preview right now. Here's what I can say for now. All right? So, essentially, this offer is for introverts who are sick of people attaching negative stories and connotations and just labels to you because you're an introvert. So introversion is not a monolith. It is not a one-size-fits-all experience. I know you guys are so much more than the shy, socially awkward, inept person or whatever labels other people are attaching to you. But I also know that you guys each struggle with something. That something looks different for all of us. Some of you struggle with overthinking. Some of you struggle with raising thoughts. Some of you struggle with feeling confident to show up as yourself. Some of you are shy. Some of you worry about everything. Right? Because you're an introvert, I already know that you are self-aware, right? We think a lot. It's in our nature. Of course, we're self-aware. So I know that you know what you need to work on. So this offer is an opportunity for you to say exactly who you are, for you to directly address what you are struggling with and want to work on. And it's an opportunity for you to decide who you want to be and essentially rewrite the narrative to get there in 3 months or less without a huge time commitment every day and obviously within your budget and availability to commit. So this is a choose your own adventure offer. The options are going to be endless. I'm going to be able to work within any budget and I'm going to be able to provide whatever level of support works for you. All right? So however hands-on you want it to be, it will be. So that's my spiel. If you guys want more details once I have them, let me know. The starting price for the very first group of people to sign up is going to be insanely low, so definitely don't sleep on it. More details are forthcoming. So excited about this offer. It is going to be exactly what you want it to be. You get to choose your own adventure. So it's everything that I wish I had as an introvert most of my life. All right. And as I promised earlier, if you are ready to make some changes now, if you don't want to wait until more details about this offer are ready, and if you don't want to wait until this offer is ready to go, then I have decided to extend my 1% Better Everyday Method sale for the next 48 hours. So you guys get $100 off because you took part in this webinar. This is valid for you guys until, what day is today? March 8th at 7 p.m. After that, it goes back up to the regular price. But what is this program? In a nutshell, this is the exact method that I use personally again and again to transform from a shy, overthinking, uncomfortable human being who overthought everything and just lived in this weird brain fog. 1% Better method is exactly what I use to get out of all those things with just 10 to 15 minutes a day. So this method allows you to make small changes, one step, one day at a time, and it allows you to build new patterns and break the old ones without this insane, like having to take crazy action, right? It allows you to just adapt little habits that'll take you 10 to 15 minutes a day. So if this is something that you feel would be beneficial for you, let me know. Shoot me a DM. just say 1% better, and I will hook you up with a special deal. All that said, thank you so much for showing up for yourself tonight. I'm so proud of you. This was awesome. And I'm really excited for April's webinar, episode 2. You guys will have to let me know what the topic's going to be. It's up to you guys. I'm just here to shed some light on whatever it is that you guys need help with. So keep an eye out for that poll at some time later this month, and we will do it. All right. Have an amazing night. I can't wait to hear what came through for you, and I will talk to you guys later.